Hi, everyone. This is Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot. And I'm very sorry it's taken so long to get this going. It's been crazy, and we had some technical issues at both sides. So here I am, and I've got MT Kesh with me. He is actually, he doesn't have camera, so he will be on audio. Kesh, say hello to everyone.
Hello, good morning, as usual, good evening, whenever and wherever you are.
We're going to be talking about his latest update regarding free energy and the work he's been doing, as well as his Dubai Peace event. And let's just start out with what's going on with you lately, Kesh. Kesh is, let me say, an Iranian physicist who has an emphasis on plasma physics, and that's how he started out, was in Iran. He subsequently, after that, went to Brussels and then to Italy, and he is now in Dubai, from what I understand it, and we're going to find out what happened to have him leave Italy and where things are at right now, as well as some other circumstances that I do want to go, sort of go down those roads. So, Kesh, can you start out by talking briefly, like for the people who don't know who you are, just give a very brief summation of your trajectory, how you were in Brussels and ended up in Italy and now in Dubai.
First of all, good morning, as I said before. As you said, you missed a part. I was born in Iran, educated in England as a nuclear engineer, and some 15 years ago I was invited to go to Belgium to develop my technology, and then we got somehow trapped in Belgium by all the things which happened around us, and it took us 15 years to find out how we got trapped in Belgium. They planted somebody very close to me, or became close to me, to be working for the Belgium to literally bug down the technology and trying to intimidate, assassinate, and everything else to go with it. That they ended up with the King of Belgium to come and see me with his wife, ex-King of Belgium. And in that meeting was clear that he didn't want me, if I don't give my technology to him, that I'll be assassinated or I'll be get rid of. So they came to do their job. Twice they blew our car up, they shot at us more or less on the motorway high speed. They poisoned us to kill us afterwards in Italy, so we left Belgium to Italy. And in Italy we have no problem. Actually, we grew very rapidly the way it should have been, because in Belgium they were closing everything down that we cannot operate. Or even our bank accounts and everything, to pressurize, to hand over everything to the royal family of Belgium. And this process is still going on, and then they send people to assassinate us in Italy by poisoning me and my family.
Your sound is actually, your sound is actually
better?
Distant, so if you
is it better? Yeah. So we moved to Italy 3 years ago, exactly this month. And we had a fantastic time. We still have pension, we still have a home in Italy, but the opportunity has come for us as an international organization to move to Dubai. We still have our teaching center. There is no reason for us to leave Italy. We are safe and secure. We have a full support of Italian government. Yesterday, the Italian government sanctioned a full factory, with even paying wages, half of the wages of our workers in the new factory. The agreement is all reached and done. We have people say we move to Dubai for something. No, we come here. In a time we'll move most probably to China to see the development of the Chinese Keshe Foundation, because I emphasize on that very much. And in time we'll move to most probably Africa to see the development of the African nations. We have given and literally devoted our life to serve the humanity, me and my family. So where we are is respective. Now we see an opportunity for the Keshe Foundation to develop in Middle East, and the reason we are in Dubai, that we have called the city of Dubai City of a Spaceship. We have called Dubai the City of Peace, and we have called Dubai the seat where the seat of the Keshe Foundation for what we call achieving peace through exchange for technology will be set. We still have a beautiful home and we have a beautiful team in Italy. And now even in Italy, we have changed that. You can be taught Italians will be the first language which we will have a full-time teaching from our base in Italy. We are fully committed to Italian government and Italian nation, and as an international organization, we need to be as part of our organization to see the development through. And Dubai for us is the ultimate point of setting a center. We have established ourselves here now through companies and the structure which needs to be done. And in time, we will move on to most probably to develop the Keshe Foundation in China, and most probably to develop the African nations, as I said. We are set, we have set our Keshe Foundation in US, in Japan, and the Keshe Foundation is well established throughout the world. So it's irrelevant where I go, it's just to emphasize and develop the structure at that time when we are there. We have a strong base in Middle East, and so I came here to see the way Dubai is run, the Middle East Emirates run, and it's fantastic to see such a place. Freedom in its absolute sense of freedom in development of technology, new technologies, no restriction in allowing new sciences to be developed. Full support by the government, and the structure of the government has said to see Dubai not to become just a what I call the holiday center or the commerce center, but Dubai is in a position to become very much like Hong Kong. And it's a new Hong Kong, city is new, mentality is new. Everybody more or less speaks English, which is easy for us to communicate. And on the other hand, the Keshe Foundation here in next few months, if we come to an agreement with the government of Dubai, we go so high that it'll be unbelievable. We see huge opportunities, and we thank the government of Dubai in supporting us, allowing us to be here. And in time, we will see what happens. We went to Italy escaping literally with 3 suitcases in the back of the car, and 3 of us not to be assassinated. In 3 years, we achieved a lot in Italy on the back of a lot of support from Italians. The way we got supported by Italian Community Keshe Foundation, I thank them for it.
Okay.
And we have a home still there, and we haven't moved out. I've seen people saying he's escaped. We haven't escaped. We have a beautiful home. We have a beautiful team. Everything for us is there, but we have to take the Keshe Foundation out of Europe to worldwide, and Dubai is the place where there's a lot of freedom for such a development.
Okay, so the fact that there are people that are talking about you, Keshe, saying things where they said, you know, that you had to leave Italy and all of this. This is false rumors, in other words.
Yeah, we came here. If you go on a Christmas holiday and you escape, then all of us, when we go on holidays on Christmas, we are escapees. This is the thing which is started with the Belgian government through Red Circle. These are paid to do these things. The guy who came with us, he was living in a box in a house. Nobody could go in it. The bailiffs were knocking on his door. And 3 years later, he lives in a €1 million plus apartment on the top site in Antwerp. They get paid to do these things. And we've shown the technique and tactic used is well organized. Discredit, destroy, attack the people's supporters. This is a well manual. We posted it, how he's been instructed to do. So this is the way they work. This is the way, and you have to realize they work with pedophiles. This is the most important thing. This organization now, in a recent his communication to somewhere else, he clearly confirms supports another guy, which we told you is a pedophile, and you said you don't want to run an interview with it. Now he's interviewed by FBI, and he's written it himself. He's under investigation, is going to be arrested for, as far as we know, he's raped his own daughter. The reason they can't find it because one of his victims is his own children, because he always said in his talks that he cannot have a child more than a few seconds on his lap and all sorts of things. And then after 20 years of marriage, the wife walked out with the children. And as far as FBI, we understand, considering is the victim is his own children, he's raping his own children, his own daughters. If you want, I mention his name. If you want, I'll give you the name of FBI officer in Utah.
Well, no, really,
so
that's
okay, I know,
okay?
I know. But these people in Red Circle work this way. So they tell us we escaped and the rest of it because they don't want to show the color of the skin.
Okay.
So we haven't escaped. We have a fantastic time on a daily basis with our base with Italy. The way I'm on the same base touch with Africa, with China, with Japan, and everything else. So
I understand.
you got to be wise. We are a well-known international organization, and every time I move somewhere, it doesn't mean I escape. We came here. If you look, we came to Dubai for Christmas holidays for a meeting with while we were here, to meeting with the officials as a month which the college, the institute was closed. But we've seen, we are in a position, we've been offered, we had meeting with officials, and we see the place is mature enough to enter into the space technology, and the facilities here are so fantastic that we will build up, hopefully. We already started a company here to see this through, but the beauty of it is people don't understand. I have a very close team, maybe 20, 30 people. And my team are so competent. They are so competent. They don't need me to be there for it to be done. So when you put a structure with highly competent people, which you trust 100%, you don't need to be a place to operate. I've operated internationally like this for 20 years before I opened the Keshe Foundation. I ran 5 offices in 3 continents for nearly 15 years. I didn't have to be at that time. Nobody knew. I moved wherever I wanted to go, because when you put competent people in position, you don't have to worry. You just got to see to add, and you know they are there to take up. I have a gorgeous team. People like Rick Crammond in Canada. We have Vince, our webmaster, Armand, and we have Marco and Giovanni in Italy. These people are the backbone. Now we have a very highly competent people like Stanley and Ella joined us, people who know the Keshe Foundation. I don't need to be on top. They are running it. And don't forget, Keshe Foundation belongs to the people, doesn't belong to me. I have given my patent open. I have given everything I have, every penny we develop, we give, and we put into development of the foundation technologies. We have a huge competent team in Philippines for research and development. I built a structure. If I die today, this structure will carry on, because it is fantastic. So I don't need, now my team knows I'm here to develop a new dimension to the Keshe Foundation, and we are well supported. Amazing news. I would like to thank the Office of the Prime Minister of Italy in how he's supporting us in the background, even with the agreement of yesterday, in giving us a beautiful brand new factory to move into the development and the production, which is going to happen in March. And on the other hand, we are setting up the same structure. We have a beautiful team in Japan, in Tokyo, who's working there. He used to be ex-group which did all the work for TEPCO with us. Now he's become the head and partner of the Keshe Foundation in Tokyo. And we see huge developments in Tokyo, in Japan. We see huge progress coming up. I spend a lot of time in respect to Japan to develop because of the Fukushima. And the same with Philippines. Our team in Philippines with innovation, with Brennan and Vernie and the others is unquestionable. So, but they all work together. It's an open table. I encourage common discussion, that people all know wherever it is. And so I structured a very successful 100% trusting team. I don't need to be anywhere. And every time I move, they come with these accusations. It's just that they want to get fame for 5 seconds. That's all it is.
Yes, and
So,
we can understand that. So, Kesh, can you talk about the technology itself? Have you been able to demonstrate this technology sufficiently to people around the world? I don't
oh
know if you're doing this live. I get a lot of emails from people saying that they don't see the evidence of the.
oh, the evidence, let me put this, the evidence is so financially solid that the Italian government has seen we deserve to be moved and supported for new technologies. We are delivering even our pens and our health pads have been certified CE certification health equipment. This we wanted to put just the pens and the pads as a CE certificate, just to be there for people who want to use it for pain relief. And the tests were so strong that the Italian authorities literally requested from us that this has to become a health tools. And the pens and the pads, so we are releasing 20,000 pens tomorrow. With you've seen the boxes on the internet we put on, and we have thousands of what do you call pen, but the pads all on the production to go through. The investment is huge. We've done a huge investment. The power unit, power unit, what I call Maglev power units, have been already delivered across the world. We have we are modifying another section to it to make it better in the coming days, in the coming week. We have to add some units to the American continent delivery because they want different condition and material which needs to be changed. We had some, we ran out, we've gone to production again. And this we sell enough materials on the internet that we don't have to worry. The people who say we haven't seen anything, they're paid. Don't forget something I have to tell you. 95% of all the entries you see on the internet which wrong with different names is the same man in Antwerp and his team. They have created so many thousands of names for themselves to give a face of reality to themselves. Going on the Google and opening an account with a different name is not there. And then they make threats against people. Now we are working very close with a number of security services. We know who they are, and all the IPs and all the tracking ends up in 2 or 3 computers with about 500 or 600 names. The gentleman is a man and he uses women's name. That's how they do. They choose children names for children to write in, because they work within the Pedophile cell. So we are tracking everything. Interpol and security services are well on top of this. We don't disclose, but every email out of their machine, every telephone call is recorded. So the guy who sits in Antwerp thinks he's got the security of the Belgian government. He writes whatever he likes. Everything is piled in. The pile, with the last time we were at the police station with the Italian security services, their pile is about a meter and a half high, documents collected. They're waiting for the King of Belgium to be arrested. The biggest problem, we can't shut Belgium down, is that because the ex-King of Belgium, if he's arrested, he topples down all the monarchies in Europe. So the Italian, what do you call it, chief prosecutor and the highest judge in Italy is sitting on the case. They're waiting for this guy to die that they can arrest the rest, that it doesn't touch the monarchies in Europe. Then you would have seen how it goes. But it's getting to the point that number of European top nations have approached us while we've been in Dubai, that now that we moved in Dubai, they would like to move to bring the ex-King of Belgium into arrest and for pedophilia. We had meeting with the officials here that they are doing it. We don't need to do it anymore. Don't forget the ex-King of Belgium has a huge case of pedophile, which one of them is Dutroux. The 2 girls who died, and Dutroux is put in prison. He doesn't give his blood, because once they have the blood, they have the blood of the victims and the signs, they can link it up. So
Okay.
this
So
is
Kesh,
something
what
that's
I'd
got
like
nothing
to
to do with us. It's something in the background. When you
no,
hear,
I appreciate that. I
you
at
see
this
something
moment,
wrong written about foundation, it all comes from the same man with 100 different names, Lucy,
I
Juicy,
understand.
and
I understand. Kesh, can you hear? Are
yes,
you able to hear me? I'm sorry to
yes,
interrupt you.
yes,
We
yes,
wanted to change the subject a bit here.
yeah.
And go to a different area. I have your Spaceship Institute, the front page of your website on the screen for people to
Yeah.
see at this time. And I wanted you to talk about that, and please explain what the Institute is involved with. How
Okay.
people can also get involved in the Institute. And let me just say one thing, because we have a live chat room, and eventually we will take questions if they are put in all caps. However, I do want to caution you in the chat room. I do see there are some what we call trolls in the chat room. There's, sort of putting negative stuff out there. Please leave, because I block you and I will delete you. So you might as well leave now and not disturb the chat and not disturb our
Yeah, they are paid. Don't forget, these people are paid.
Yeah,
Okay,
I understand that. So let's talk about the Spaceship Institute.
Sure.
Can we do
You
that?
got to understand, yes, you got to understand the structure of the Keshe Foundation. Originally, in 2000, when I started my businesses, to when I discovered the work of the gravity, then we moved to Belgium. Then in Belgium, we set up a Keshe Foundation, which is based in Holland. The Keshe Foundation Holland was gone to the development and was writing the patents and everything else, which we did by writing of the books. I've written 3 books and a number of papers. Then when we came to Italy, now we had the freedom, because every time we wanted to do something in Belgium, they blocked us, all sorts of things. In Italy, we had the freedom to teach, because in Europe, in Belgium, I could give conferences. Even the disturbed conferences, they stopped. We stood outside in the hotel, and nobody will come in. The manager says, if this meeting goes on, there is this and that. So in Italy, we didn't have this problem. In Italy, we opened the first line of students to become knowledge seekers, we call them. And I opened the institute within the compound where we lived in Italy, as part of our, house. And we had 7 students. 2 left, 2 are on the line of attempted murder. They poisoned me with arsenic and my family, and they escaped. And out of that group, 2 finished with us last week. They finished the full 2 years. One is Armand and one is Marco, people who ran the Keshe Foundation. In being in the north, we were approached by a gentleman from the south called Giovanni Lapedillo. And he said, just come and have a look at the south. We went to the south. And in the south, what we were told us in north, the south is dilapidated and everything is wrong down there. We found a lot of pleasure and a lot of friendship. So we moved our teaching to the south, and within a matter of, before we moved and while we moved, we came across another institute called Lund University, which is a private university. We struck a collaboration, and after 3 months, we found out the intermediary, somehow there was some connection. We paid the rents, and then we found out there's a lot of legal problem with the structure we got involved in. And I said to my team, I'm not staying somewhere there's a lot of finger of illegal activities over 30, 40 years. We don't say anything. We moved to a new premises. We opened, when we were in Lund, we became a Spaceship Institute. The teaching arm of the Keshe Foundation is a Spaceship, KF, a Spaceship Institute, Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute. The logo you see now is Keshe Foundation logo. Then there is a KFS, a KFSSI, Spaceship Institute. This is a teaching arm. And then in this development, we have separated, because we set a factory up. We have a second factory partnership in Germany set up now. The third structure factory is getting set up in Japan. And we opened the research center. No,
Sorry, Cash, are you saying all these, the places you're setting up now, are these all spaceship institutes or are they Keshe
they
Foundation?
they are all owned by Keshe Foundation. They all go on the umbrella of the Keshe Foundation, but this teaching site has become KFSSI, and a spaceship type site which is now developing a space technology, all the things, the medical aspects, the health, the food aspects, the energy aspects, is gone to the spaceship because this is part of the spaceship institute. So now we are an umbrella of the Keshe Foundation. Teaching side is the KFSSI. The spaceship side is a spaceship institute which has its own logo. And then we have the arm, which is the Keshe Foundation manufacturers. Then there is a Keshe Foundation as foundations around the world, because now we have a Keshe Foundation in Germany. We have a Keshe Foundation as a charity organization. These Keshe Foundations are charity organizations which they get benefited by the manufacturing arm of the country to serve people, to share the knowledge, to give units to the people, to set up education free, and that kind of thing. So we have set up the parallel, and then we have our own innovation center, which started in the Philippines. Now there's about 8 or 10 of them, and we just look for the new inventors to come in. And I have brought a new rule across the Keshe Foundations. On our team, we pay exactly the same wages wherever you're across the world. So we have 4 grades of wages. The ones who join in, very basic. The one who's been with us, that they get a good income. We have a what I call a management team, which is mainly on the internet, the IT, and then we are creating an elite management, the people who will be looking after overall. We on average, we pay higher. I was even talking to China. We are paying even the wages that is better for our IT people in Europe and America to move to China to live a very comfortable life. We don't pay because it's China, half price of Europe. Everybody gets paid the same wages. That nobody needs to move, because to me, somebody to move to somewhere else to bring comfort for others is too much. Why? We done this enough of it, it hasn't worked. We opened the sweatshops in China, we opened the sweatshops in Bangladesh for the rest of the world to have the fancy clothing and fancy items. But the people who made it, they suffered, they couldn't even feed their children. I've changed the position. I pay equal across the world. We have people in Nigeria now on the Keshe Foundation. We've got 10 people in Keshe Foundation Nigeria teaching.
Okay.
The man, let me explain. The man who was living in London, Alex, has moved into Nigeria and doing the same. They are getting paid on the top management level. Doesn't matter if he lives in Africa. The same with our middle management in Ghana. If we don't look, we have to, and I've given instruction even to our factory, we pay the best wages. We don't pay just to work. So we are changing the ethos. And everything is structured. We have our own foundation. On top of the foundation, we have the teaching, which we teach the technology. This month we go. Let me explain, please.
Okay.
From March, we originally started with the 7 students in northern Italy. In south of Italy, when we joined Loom, we brought about 8-10 people joined us as in-sitting students, and they paid like 6,000 euro per month. And we opened online with 1,000 euro per year, 6,000 euro per year, and we opened online for 1,000 euro per year to the other students to join. I saw a lot of suffering with the students. They came from America, they came from different countries. They were sitting there trying to learn the technology, but their heart and mind were back home with their children, with their wives, with whatever they had. They were all mature people. So I decided, I said to my wife, I'm now doing this, I'm going to go everything online. I can't see people sitting here suffering. This is not good. So this term, we started in January 18th, we did not accept anyone. There was one lady who was set up to do, she forced herself to come in, and we didn't even give her a position to come in, and she went and wrote a lot of rubbish. And we found out this again with the red circle. But We made sure that you don't need to be, if you are committed to learn new technology, you can do it from home at the time we put on teaching, or you can go online. So now we become international teaching live. Our teachers teach live online, exactly 9 to 5. You want it, you join in the teaching, or you can listen to it later. Then we realized now all our teachings are in English, getting translated. So about 2-3 months ago, I start supporting different Keshe foundations around the world to set up their own teaching. So from March, we do live session exactly like in English, in Italian. We do the same thing in China. In China, teaching stars. We're trying to do it in French, in Spanish, in Portuguese, and other languages in Indian. And anyone who joins us as a student in Africa, the teaching is free. We have opened our teaching free to South America, in the third world nations of South America, where people can't afford, and to African nations. And yesterday when I was teaching, I had an African from a student who came and asked a question from Africa. These are all free students. And the people in the other rest of the world, they know these, they support with their payments that the others can learn. This is the ethos of Keshe Foundation. We work as one team now, as one nation and one planet. So we support each other in so many ways.
Okay.
And now
let me ask you.
Let me finish, please. And from 1st of March, our fee goes down to €100 by donation. You can pay €100 and join in any languages to be taught which we have available. And you can donate more if you want, you can donate less if you want, but €100 we brought it down and we open the technology to everyone.
Okay, are you saying it's €100 a month, a year?
A year.
€100 to donate €100 and then be able to take your classes. Is this online?
It is online. We are setting it up, and our team, hopefully by 1st of March, will be able to offer the English, Italian, and Chinese. We most probably might have a Spanish and German added to it, and the French, and then we'll see how it grows.
Great.
So we're making it free, more or less, education at the highest level, at the level even the professors in the universities cannot even teach to their students, because the students become part of the teaching. They learn, they work.
Well, let's talk about, can we talk about the technology itself? You know, everyone is interested in essence, what we call free energy or 0 point energy from the vacuum, however you term it. Is this the kind of energy you're using to build machines, in other words, that people can use to make their houses, you know, the electricity or whatever? Are you looking to supplant, in other words, the energy structure that involves nuclear and oil and gas and this sort of thing?
I'm a nuclear physicist. I am a nuclear engineer. But I was trained on the heavy elements of the nuclear, on the plutonium and uranium. In the course of teaching, at that time, plasma technology was part of the nuclear structure as a heavy elements. But in working with and developing over some 40 years of technology, I have managed to create a new structure for energy. We came from the wood. We went to oil, we went to nuclear. Now we've gone a level lower than nuclear, which is the mother of the nucleus, the mother of the atom itself, which is its nucleus, is a plasma, a neutron. And then whatever, proton, again the same. So we haven't developed a magic, we just gone deeper in the science of man, in the knowledge of man. So now we work with the plasma. What is the structure of a nuclear atomic structure, the mother, which is then molecules and the rest. So now what we've done, we've gone deeper, and now we've gone deeper. As a nuclear physicist, I have managed to tap into the structure of the atomic plasma, which is not the matter state, but in the plasma state, and we call it the plasma technology. So it's a new fuel. it's like when we found oil, when we found nuclear energy, we call it a plasma technology. So it's not something magic. We have, our knowledge over centuries has grown deep enough that we can go a step further in. When people started speaking about the atom 200 years ago, they laughed at them. They're crazy. When we started talking about nuclear, we became geniuses. Now we have gone in the center of the nucleus, the structure of how it works, what it is. And this is what, as a nuclear physicist, I opened up to public. And it's so easy without any radiation that anybody can do. Most of our supporters are people, housewives, people, children, in Thailand, in China, children are doing it. Because now it's so simple, we've gone to the essence of creation. And so it's a new, you call it a new field.
Why do people say that they have not seen it demonstrated? Is there a video that you can send?
No. Anyone who says not demonstrated, tell them then you're too lazy. Because it's so many.
Is there a link? Is there a link that we can give people?
Thousands and thousands and thousands of videos and teaching on the internet. It's you who's got to go and teach himself. Even on the Keshe Foundation, people are reporting, go on the Keshe Foundation. You haven't seen it because you don't want to do it. Because you don't want to learn it. It's very easy. Go in the kitchen, get a piece of copper wire, get the wire out of in your cupboard, whatever you have, a piece of wire left on the floor, in the cupboard you don't use. Strip it, get the copper. The caustic you put to clean, open up your toilet hole, put it in there, leave it in there for a day or so, then hang it in the closed environment. It goes black, it creates its own nanomaterial. Put that stick or copper into a salt water with a zinc, a chicken mesh in the salt water. You create a free plasma, what we call the GANs, CO2, gases in nano state. So if then you follow the teaching, this is how simple it is. That a child, 5-year-old in China, for laugh, she's making a toilet to show how easy it is. On the floor of toilet, she's making a nanomaterial and plasma. So the people who say we haven't seen it, they have seen it. It's like the person who says, I don't accept it, but I made the latest thing and I'm already seeing using it for my pain. So the people who say who haven't seen it, there is enough. They don't see it because they don't want to go and do it. They want to be a spoon-fed. And secondly, the ones who say we haven't seen it are part of the red circle. The ones who are in Keshe Foundation, we cover hundreds, thousands of pages of Google in different. People are reporting how today we open the teaching on the blueprint. But when we call a blueprint, means we open the designs for you to make it and copy it for any factory to do it. In China, they're selling things, they're making it. In America, they're making it. In Holland, people are making paint pens, which releases pain by just putting this pen on your pain point and giving it free every Thursday in the markets in Holland. So the people who say we haven't seen it, these are paid to do the discredit.
Okay, but I do think
we are selling it, we are in the market. If you haven't seen it, go on the Keshe Foundation, purchase one, and you can have it.
Okay, well, we are showing this page on the Keshe Foundation that does show some of the technology in terms of this copper wire that you're talking about. But in terms of the video, just for the help of people to make it easy, do you demonstrate it on video? And if so,
yes,
is there a page we can send people to? I just like to send people that are watching to the right page. And if maybe after the broadcast, or if you have a chance, you can
go to the bottom of this page. Go to the front page of the Keshe Foundation.
Okay.
And go to the bottom. There are a lot of links for everything. How to nano-code. Go to the bottom of the page. You're on the top of the page. Go to the bottom. Go further down. Go all the way down. Yeah. See, these are the systems which are made. These are blueprints. Go all the way down.
Okay.
At the bottom of the front page is this is a new site which is. These are a system for power unit you can make yourself. These are blueprints. So, so no one has ever opened up technology like this. This is even the safeguards for it. You see, these are the new pages. You can go and click for nano coating. If you can't find it, there's a click called support. There it is. It says nano and GANs. We even put the health warning on it. And there are videos made by the knowledge seekers around the world and some people use caustic to create nanomaterial, some people use heat, some people use electricity. We give the warning how you have to handle it because it's a plasma. When you go on the Keshe Foundation website, everything is there. This is how to make
in terms of, let me ask you this, in terms of the products that you've got, so far you have this pen that people can use to heal pain. Do you have other products yet?
Yes, we put a pain pad. We have the power units, the Magra power units. These power units needs to be connected to electricity, and we've seen up to 30% reduction, 33% reduction. And in some cases, we've seen up to 100% reduction using different type of technology, but of the same. And in the coming time, we're launching a new product as part of this to bring the reduction in your bills to about 60%. But the aim, our aim is now to produce, and we are on a track, we should be able to do it in the coming time, where we give you a generator independent of the main line. This needs a lot of, we're seeing a lot of development on this, and we are on the point of what we call like mobile phones, no line communication, which means you can plug anything on and the light comes on and the fridge works without any wiring. We have shown a tentative version of this recently, and there it is. This guy is in different countries. Everybody, they post whatever they make across on, see on your screen. And we give a platform to people to come and teach on Thursday morning from 9 o'clock Central European time till 1 to whenever we finish. People come and show what they built, what they think, what's the question, what's the problem. And as of this week, Tuesday, our health section in the Philippines has been built, is started in the university hospital. They've been given accommodation. We started the first direct trial on a woman with tumors in her womb, and with the full monitoring of the university hospital where our team is working. And I talked with the patient and the doctor and our team how to set up what it needs to be done, and the trial started on Tuesday. And this section will start doing a lot of other works. And in the last week, using another configuration developed by one of the Keshe Foundation supporters in the United States, in California, we have given 4 of these pens, which he has shown himself to reduce diabetic in use of insulin and can be used for drug addiction. And we have done it so openly. We had a meeting here on Monday night, where 2 Nobel Prize laureates are part of and monitoring these tests by the doctors. So what we've done is we use these pens to be used by 4 diabetics now. The first trial is 4 diabetics, and we monitor, and we get together once a week every Monday to monitor what changes has been, and then the Nobel Prize guys will do a report on it. And this way, there are other tests done in China for the health application. And secondly, it's so simple, people are doing it themselves. Just go on the Keshe Foundation testimonials and see what people are writing. Go there all over the internet. There are 2 or 3 groups have started that people write down what there is the testimonials, how they can do the hand which doesn't move, it moves. I've done this for 15 years.
Right.
And secondly, let me explain. In Belgium, we have a license. It's been tested, is certified, insured by what we call alternative medicine authorities, that the technology is being registered as alternative medicine in Europe. So we have the license. We know that doctors can even prescribe it if we teach them how to use it for their patients. So there is a lot of development, but the people who say we haven't seen is exactly the ones who never ever made. You know, feed me, I'm open mouth, just put it in my mouth. And the first thing is when they get the cancer, they come, you have a technology, can you help us please? We need it because, but up to now we opposed it. But I want to see if it's correct, if it can save my life. So,
Okay.
and then, but this is the hypocrisy we see with new technologies, because
Yeah.
don't forget, we are not, I have not developed this technology for use on this planet. We are developing a technology for a space. Where in a space, we are independent of any doctors, any medicine, any food, that we don't have to come back. At the moment, the biggest problem NASA has, all the space agencies have, even today, we have scientists above us flying, but if we don't get them food, if we don't get them water, if we don't get them medicine, they die. Our time of duration into space travel at the moment is dependent on the food and the water. If we cannot carry it, if we cannot convert it, if we cannot bring oxygen into operation, we die. With this new technology, where we tapped into the energy of the plasma, which is itself plasma, is a sun is a plasma, we have become independent of Earth. And a lot of people have a problem with this. We cannot be without Earth. So it's something wrong with you. We predict, and we've been correct in predicting the earthquake in the United States and the rest of the world. They say you are using your thoughts to create these things. They don't understand. Earth is a living thing. We live on it, and it's been carrying us, and it's a live thing, and it changes. They want to say it's something wrong with you because what you say is correct, and the earthquakes happens, you cause it. So it shows that I told them, to one of them, okay, if you don't believe it's going to happen, do what they did 1,000 years ago. Go and find yourself a virgin woman and beheaded her, that the earthquake doesn't happen. These are people who wear a clothes of a new man, but in mind they are still from 1,000 years ago. Because that
Okay, well, I would like to ask you about some of that, Kesh, but I don't want to leave this subject too soon. I want to make sure that we cover some of this Spaceship Institute. So you say that it's all about leaving the planet. Are you aware of the various commercial space ventures out there, such as Elon Musk?
Waste of time. Put it this way.
Why is he using, let me ask you, why is he using old technology when some people say that you can't even get out of the Van Allen belt with this kind of technology?
Okay. Let me explain to you what is going on in the background. We can release documents. People who have been around the Keshe Foundation, they know. I stand in a very peculiar position with the World Space Organization, especially NASA. NASA has been aware of the development of this technology very well. In 2004, the NASA came even in the high sanction level with Iran. I still am Iranian, I carry Iranian passport. At that time, they went through a lot of problem to get a visa for me to go to United States to become part of NASA organization with the new plasma technology. At that time in 2005, we received an invitation from Belgian government too. My wife and I, we decided to go to Belgium, and all our problems started. NASA has been aware of the change of course, but they had nobody inside to do it, because it needs a skill of thinking. And they gave me the visa even during the highest sanctions. We have all the passports, everything. Actually, they had to revoke the visa 2 years ago because I didn't use it. They gave a visa to Iranian nuclear physicists as highest sanctions on the Iranian nuclear physicists go to United States to work with NASA. It was done in a very specific way. Even though the ambassadors in London and the consul were amazed how issue was issued from Washington. In that process, NASA has become fully aware, became fully aware that we are on a new track of space travel without fuel. Because now we're creating the plasma gravitational magnetic field, we don't need to burn. And they started curtailing all the NASA rocket launches. NASA is heavily now involved in plasma, trying to replicate what we do. So in 2005, 2007, they knew what is going to happen. And instead of wasting the money, they gave the contract to others who want to play with. And the names you mentioned are those people. NASA has fully, one of the South American gentleman who's from South American, who is the highest flown astronaut in NASA. He's been put in the head of the what do you call it, plasma propulsion. I speak with him. I speak with his family.
Okay.
So they know the plasma, the way we are working on it is a direction. They even 3-4 years ago arranged, they went to the, what do you call it, your inland security. They got a security clearance for me to go to United States. They gave me access to even enter the military zones on a black budget, because they have things in there which with my technology can help the NASA in their space technology and the military side. And they passed everything. But Washington, through what we call G+1, which is the Jewish lobby, which is highly, is a connection of the Jewish lobby and what you call Illuminatis, they have blocked Keshe Foundation in Washington. But we still receive a lot of connections and contacts through the White House. So,
okay. So are you ever in touch with? Are you in touch with any of these what we call commercial, space developers, such as
no, they have to. They are carrying what NASA doesn't want to carry. They have brought what NASA knows where it's going. But these commercial guys are just supporting and do whatever they like. Look at this. Richard Branson came up and supported this project, and the first one blew up. And then what happened? It's got to the point that he's put himself and his family online. I'll be the first one on my jet. Why do we have to risk this? And now he's got him with Bill Gates.
Okay, but why aren't
going to space? Because they don't understand. They don't understand.
They don't understand. But your information has been out there for a while now. Have none of these people come to talk to you in person?
We don't need to. I have spoken with Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin offers us untold amount of money to share with. We speak with NASA. The thing is, the sanctions on the Iranian nuclear physicists is the problem, not my technology. This is what you got to understand. The problem is I'm Iranian. I still carry Iranian passport. I'm proud to be Iranian. And at the same time, I serve world community. This is what they cannot understand. This is what is screwing up Washington and other countries. Okay, so because of my passport, I cannot do the work. They come to say you are connected to Iranian nuclear physicists, you lose all your budgets. We don't support you. All right. The reason they stay out is because now we receive the support from people. We receive people buying the equipment, all our teachings and everything else. Is if I was a lonely businessman or come up with something simple, I wouldn't know. I had to go to somebody to finance us. All the structure you see, all the wages we pay comes through the foundation itself. The foundation does not go to the bank.
And how does the foundation support itself at this time?
I sell a lot of books. I sell a lot of equipment. We sell a lot. I told you, a government like government of Italy doesn't give you huge subsidies, brand new factories, if we were not already producing. They want us to move to start further developing more production. We're going to create about maybe up to 3,000 to 5,000 jobs in the next 12 months, 18 months in Italy, and build it up to 40,000 in Italy. I know exactly where my factory is going. I own 51% of the shares. I financed it and it's producing. We delivered the units across. You go on the internet services, oh, we received our units. Said it cannot deliver, this is all hoax. And everybody is working with it. The people who bought the CO2 units, the unit I told you how to make a GANs to do your energy, we sell it. Go on the box, you can buy it. It'll be delivered within 7 days. We had a huge problem. We had a development in China. The Red Circle went to Hong Kong, to China, deliberately to disturb that we destroy. I said, no problem. I brought all my production on top of where we were. We trusted the nation. You do not know how much respect I have for the Italian government. They supported us hands on knees. They went against NATO, they went against EU, because they say all the old technologies has died. We support, this is something new, we give it a chance. And that chance is putting a lot of money into Italy. We are bringing in a lot of finance into Italy, we're supporting, we are paying a factory to build these things is one or two. To fill up the 6,000 square meter factory, it means a lot of people, a lot of finance.
Right.
And so Italian opened their doors to us to go to Italy, and we opened the knowledge to the Italians.
Okay,
and we are supporting it. So now, let me explain to you what our finances comes from. When you buy a unit, when you buy my books, when you buy a pen, whatever you buy. Belgium went to PayPal to force them to close our account. They went through us, they accused us of everything. They said no. The only thing we close our PayPal account because they cannot get certificate of insurance from it's a Belgian company to insure the power unit. So it's no problem. Now the Italian government is making arrangements for us to own our own bank. So when we are on banks, we don't need to go to what we call Mickey Mouse game people like PayPal, who's controlled by Illuminatis and the rest. You go on a Google, put Wikipedia Mehran Tawakkoli Cash. It doesn't exist. I'm dead man. I don't even exist. If you write one single paper somewhere, they put your name on it. Because the week they decided to create problem everywhere for us, the first thing they did, they threatened the Wikipedia, they took off us. You go on the Facebook, put my name on the Facebook, Mehran Tawakkoli Cash is an international public figure, done by the Facebook. So we see how the things are controlled. NASA is heavily involved in plasma technology. They understand our work. They sit in our system. We have people from the famous, space technology guy who was in England. He's shown the first like a UFO flying and he went to the States. Their director is a student in the Keshe Foundation teaching group in the SSI. They came in, they sat with us, and everybody in the foundation knows who they are, and we're collaborating with them. They're learning from us. We learn from them.
Okay.
Let
me ask you something, Keshe.
Yes.
I appreciate all that information, and that's great. I wanted to ask you, because I know that Mike Harris had become a part of your board of directors. He came to visit you, and then apparently he withdrew.
What's this rumor? Who started this rumor?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
No, Mike Harris and Colin Hankey. Colin Hankey, you know the ranking in America is Colin Hankey. They are directors, chief executives in our board of directors of the Keshe Foundation in the United States. Who says he's gone to CIA? We work closely with CIA. We have to. They are embedded in our structure. So you're saying Mike Harris
is still involved in your company?
Of course he is. Of course.
Okay. I got the wrong information.
I have an interview. No, I have an interview with him tomorrow morning.
Oh,
I have a lot of respect for Mike Harris. We set up the Keshe Foundation in the United States. Now Armanin's on his way back in the next couple of days to set up the factory, which brings Mike Harris, Colin Hankey, and Brad, and another person who is part of the CIA organization as part of board of directors of the Keshe Foundation USA. We are what happened? I have a policy. This is not because of the Keshe Foundation. I've done this for 30 years, 40 years in my work. The level I work, the level we are, we know we are infiltrated by a number of security services. Italian security services has people right in my management team. They think we don't know. We allow them. We have to be open. I respect CIA, I respect KGB, I respect the Chinese security services. Nobody understood what happened. Let me explain to you how closely government securities work with us. The guy who was manufacturing for us in China, and then he got infiltrated by the Red Circle, they flew to China and they made all sorts of things. We informed the Chinese government through our channels, there is such a thing. this guy is working and all the things which is against our foundation. Chinese security services tapped his phone and gave the conversation to an accountant in Hong Kong to release it, how he's deviously working with ARP, trying to infiltrate out, and the guy disappeared. We didn't do it. Chinese security services did it themselves to support the foundation. We have a huge one supporting in China. We just informed the embassies. I have a huge respect for Mike Harris.
All right, that's good.
He has supported.
Yes, what we're trying to do now is we're trying to get rid of the rumors. We're trying to ask the questions.
Rumors are very, there is a rumor I'm a woman. So you got to believe it yourself. I
don't, I wanted to ask the specific question because recently somebody gave me this information. If that person is mistaken and they are wrong, then that's.
We are well. We invite the security, because I always said, even in my business time, the more security we have with us, the more secure we are. I have always, through my business life, worked with securities. I work with the MI5, MI6. There's a secure service within MI5, MI6 when we organize the peace process in Northern Ireland. So for me, it's a second nature, because a nation, a country, to be safe, it needs to be secure, and security services are part of it. I work closely with the Swiss security services, intelligence services. It's my security depends on theirs knowing what I do. Otherwise, they listen to these rumors and, oh, he's a terrorist. That's why the Belgium produced so many false papers that all the government realized. Since I've gone to Italy, they found out how much they've been kept in deliberate false information, that they're trying to come back and sorting something out with us. Because this way they could say he's Umatil, they could force me to give my technology to the King of Belgium to abuse it again through their structure. So rumors, rumors, a man has to be intelligent by himself. Yes, absolutely. I have a lot of.
You're going to be on Mike Harris's show tomorrow, you say? What time?
Tomorrow, yes, about 3 o'clock in the morning. I have another one lined up.
You're 12 hours, aren't you 12 hours ahead of us? So
yeah, I think it's 3 o'clock Friday morning, my time.
Okay, yeah, because there might be a lag there. So I guess you guys need to look that up. I don't know which.
In the Mike Harris shows at the moment is booked for it. Let me tell you, I have a huge respect for Mike. He's been with us. He came to the opening of the Lund University with Colonel Hankey. We operate heavily through American organizations because we are part of the world community. America is part of the world community of Keshe Foundation.
Yes.
So they tell us we're infiltrated by KGB. Yes. We invite them in. Actually, it's without I've seen it. I've seen the agents talking to each other without them knowing they're agents of each other.
Okay, well, let's talk at this moment. Let's actually go to the Dubai Peace event. You are organizing this for April 21st, right?
Let me explain to you what has happened. The Keshe Foundation, now we share everything together. Doesn't matter in Africa, in China, in England, or whatever. So we have become one family. And when you become one family, you have to have some sort of, as a family, you can all talk to each other and share everything together. Our wealth is our knowledge, and our wealth is bringing peace. That's the wealth of the Keshe Foundation. So what I've done, on 21st and 22nd of April, we have organized what we call One Planet, One Race, One Nation Conference, which you don't have to be a Keshe Foundation member. You want to see a new structure of the world order that is run by and amongst the people through the fair conduct and correct, a setup of the world order in the way of equality and opening of the space to all community, universal community. We set it up. You don't need to be a member of Keshe Foundation. Come in. You never even know. You might be a member of the council when it's elected, because you will know if your soul is present to be serving the humanity. So it's not for Keshe. Keshe Foundation is you, it's not me. Keshe Foundation belongs to the world population, not me. I've given everything, my knowledge, my rights, my wealth into the foundation. I need something, I buy. I like to eat the food, I buy from my foundation. Whatever I earn goes from, I have only one account. So it belongs to you. You want to see the change, come to Dubai and make the change. It's no good sitting down. We are not Greenpeace. We talk about peace. We have the knowledge, new technology. We have the finances built on the new technology. We have team of people devoted to bring the change, and we are getting together here in Dubai. And to show it.
So in Dubai, let me ask you, will free energy people that are working with you and scientists be coming also to this
Everybody
Dubai?
is coming, yes. And we ask, the first day is to come and see the new technology. Come and see how you make it. The beauty of this unit, this technology is you do it. We teach you how to make it, that in the time of disaster you have it. You don't need to rely to somebody to give it to you. You're in pain, you go in your kitchen and you make your unit for you. Come in. All the people who coming are bringing the units with them, their technology with them. They know how. Come and learn. And then in the afternoon, we start what we call the process of the meeting. Now we meet, we explain to this technology. We want an organization to look after us with a new school of thoughts of peace. We don't allow our technology to be used for military. Not a cent of the Keshe Foundation money goes to developing arms or purchasing arms or causing or developing arm technology. We developed a defense technology for a space that meteorites and magnetic fields cannot touch us, that we stay alive. But we don't produce something as a defense to kill somebody. We don't develop anything to harm any animal, because now we learn we all share. We can eat energy, we can consume energy without killing an animal. We are showing it. It's getting tested. People are showing how they're transferring the energy of the orange into water by drinking the water. They don't need to eat the orange. You can do the same with the meat. You can do the same with anything else. It's shown on the internet. Go and see it. Thousands of people have done it. So the conference, Dubai conference, is for you to elect a new world government on the basis of it's not paid by no bank, by no Illuminatis, by no group you attach to. We are as one group. We teach ourselves, we feed ourselves, we educate ourselves, we build our own systems, and at the same time, we finance everything to look after the needy, the research, the development of manufacturing of new technologies to achieve peace. This way, no government can. This is the problem with Keshe Foundation. Nobody can close our bank account, says we don't give you any loans, and we shut down. I don't need to go to the Americans to ask for money. Yes, I don't need to go to the banks. So we are free, and our freedom gives us a chance to bring freedom to humanity. And this conference, this meeting on 21st, 22nd of April in Dubai, is for the establishment of sharing of the knowledge with everyone around us, anywhere from around the world. You can come and learn, and you do not know, you might become a member of the UN Council. We have changed the structure. What is beautiful about this meeting is this. We say, at the moment we call you American, or we call you a Chinese, or we call you Iranian. We relate that to the place of China, Iran, or America. But Chinese are all over the world. Iranians are all over. There are more Iranians in Los Angeles than anywhere else. And then you have a bunch of British who are in Australia speaking English, or in America. So there is no need for borders. We do not accept borders, because now we become one nation. We speak different languages, we understand. So we go by the language in the council, not by nations. So, okay,
so can you tell
new
us?
Government is based on no borders. We speak, you're a Chinese, you're in America, you're still Chinese, so your representative is a Chinese member in the council.
All right, let me ask you this, because some people have asked, why will you not be broadcasting the event live? You have decided to make the meetings private, so only the people that attend in person can see what goes on, or what is your thoughts on that?
This is how we decided, and this is what, there are 3,000 spaces available. We have made the most beautiful arrangement with the most beautiful hotel in the world, Atlantis Hotel in Palm in Dubai. We have arranged now, we can do the first 500 booking at a price of €500 for 3 nights, including 2 breakfasts in the morning to be present in the meeting. People are booking it. After the 500 places, it goes to 750. The cost of this hotel to stay for a night is around €1,000. You're staying for 3 nights.
Normally, but not in this case, yeah?
No, normally. And you stay in the most beautiful place, plus the use of the water accommodation, which is the most world famous place to be in, the water park of the Atlantis, for 3 nights. Sharing room with another person, or if you want to stay as a family, you pay 1,500 for 3 nights for €500, including the entrance to the function for 500 for the first. It's nothing. You don't even get it in anywhere, God knows, in London for this kind of thing, especially with the facilities here.
Okay, so you have decided to not to broadcast again, to go public. So what was the thinking? Are any of the events, in other words, you're going to have two days of events, yes? And
Yeah.
Are you going to broadcast any of it or not?
No.
Okay.
We haven't. We usually bring our camera crew from all over the world to go live. We've done it with the opening of the foundation in Italy. We've done it with the university. We don't do it. We don't see a need for it. There is no need. And secondly, now we have appointed a partner, travel agents that can get you the cheapest ticket to be here. We want the people who want to make the change. We don't want audience.
Okay.
We want people.
So
you feel you
person.
want to bring a change, you come and you make the change. We don't want, and secondly, we want to teach you first. You see it, you learn, you speak to the other people. They're coming from all over the world. We see in the booking, people are coming from all over the world. It's the only true chance we get for a long time to change the course. And then we have decided what we're going to do, how we're going to interact with the governments, which are the national governments. We are not going to overthrow any government. No, we are part of it. We are the world government as the nations of this planet, as the citizens of this planet. So we will like, and we will go the way what we said. 20% taxes is the maximum we need to pay to any government. We negotiate with governments on taxes, because if you are one nation, you don't need armies. Where is the money going? A huge amount of percentage of taxes you pay goes for the armies. We don't need armies. We can pay 20%. The first thing you can take out is the armies, because we don't need wars. The countries who produce arms, we give you an alternative way to produce, the way we are doing in Italy, and we start in Germany and other places, to produce new materials, new products, which doesn't create war. We are bringing a new health system, which means you don't spend billions on health services. So it's a huge saving for the governments. The saving is done on the health is not needed, so you don't need to pay more than 20%. We are bringing the total disarmament, because what we do from the 13th, 14th of this month, people were supposed to give a unit to a soldier, to an armed man. The man carries armor, a pen of health for a gun. You got to understand something. It's us who's got to change, not watching somebody else doing it. The Keshe Foundation, there are millions of them around the world, are doing that. They are building it, they are doing it. So it's our work to do it. If you want to change, you come where the change is to happen. There's no use being a bystander. If you are a bystander sitting there, oh, they're going to do it and then we have the benefit. It's like the one you said, show us it works. Go in the kitchen and make it yourself, it'll work. When you have the first tooth pain, put the pen on your tooth and see where it goes. When your wife cannot walk with the arthritis, make a patch and put it and see how she changes. You have to do it. And then you see the change, and then you get devoted to serving humanity. And this is what the Keshe Foundation is about. Okay. Dubai is the beginning of the establishment of what we call universal community as a council. We work together, we share together, and we don't need bankers or anybody else to look to it. Anybody to say what it is. Governments will just stay there because people have an interface. But we become the new united nation. We become the new nation as one, united together as one planet. And this is the purpose of it. We are not going to fail. They can stop us or whatever. Keshe Foundation is in more than 180 nations and territories. We are not a few pieces they want to say. We start putting it now slowly. In the next 2-3 months, you can go and put us.keshefoundation.org. You go to your United States website. You go to France, blah, blah, to German. So anywhere around the world, you choose your language and you end up in the website of your own. And it's done by the people. It's not done by us. We don't pay for it. They come and set it up because they want to see the change.
I appreciate that. Okay, so now in terms of your predictions for California, you seem to think that there is going to be a major earthquake, and you are actually suggesting that California be evacuated. You really think the entire state is going to be in jeopardy?
Why do you look at the United States? We are one family, we are one planet. We look at the total structure of the planetary structure.
Okay.
The planetary structure it moves on 2 phases during because of the angle, the tilted angle, 5-degree angle of the planet. The pressures on the planet come every autumn and every spring, depending on the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere. So we see high activities in certain time, but at the same time we see high activities of the motion of the magma within the structure of gravitational magnetic field of the Earth. So as we understand new technology in that we can understand how to create gravity, and we see how magnetic fields are created, which is the repulsion. We see the field force pressures of the sun and the other planetary system in reality in respect to the magnetical and gravitational field of the Earth.
Okay, let me ask you, where are you getting this information? Is this because
because we understand the new understanding of the gravity. We know how to create gravity. We see the gravitational line of work in our reactors. You make a reactor tilted 5 degrees and create the same conditions of the Earth the way I do, you will see the same thing. You don't need to be Einstein. Einstein was idiots in what he brought us to. This is a problem of people, because they all can understand it. People are building these reactors, same as Earth, in their homes, in their kitchens. You build it, you see it. That's why people in the foundation understand it.
It's because you built a reactor, or you dealt with reactors, that you feel that you understand what's going on with the planet. Is that right?
With this planet, with the sun, with the others, because we start understanding the true working of the universe, at least part of it. And then don't forget, I announced there's going to be, it's not announcement or prediction, it's understanding the structure. Let me explain to you something very clear. I said that something's going to happen in the west coast of America or Japan or North China, and we got the Fukushima. Last summer I said they're going to see a start of the movement of earthquakes, and within 7 days we saw exactly where I said what's going to happen. Because we understand it. Now we understand. This has happened over millions of years. It's not just today. You have to understand how this animal has moved.
Sure,
this is
but
a living thing.
You are in essence saying there's going to be something soon that you think is going to happen where on the planet?
It's going to happen because what happened up to now we couldn't understand. You see, the North American continent, South American continent is connected just around Panama. And because it's a weak point, you know, when you cut a paper and you have a small connection, if you try to tear a paper, it's very difficult. If you got a sheet of steel and you want to tear it, it's very difficult. But if you cut it to a small pinpoint, you just twist the pinpoint and it shears off. The North American continent and South American continent is pinpointed over Panama, around Panama area. And the field forces of magma underneath is huge. In a way, if you look at it, the South American continent is hanging on a little pin, but the forces underneath are pushing. The rotation of direction of the gravitational magnetic field of the Earth is anti-clockwise. So what does it mean? It means the continent, South American continent, is getting pushed to the towards Africa because that's anti-clockwise. So now we are going through the phase of autumn, winter, autumn, summer, or spring, whatever you want to call it, in which hemisphere you are. The pressures, because of the 5-degree angle, now sits on the south continents, southern hemisphere. And that push is just like you bending a paper of a metal back and forth till it snaps. Now the push is coming on the south hemisphere. And in getting this done, the magma is building and is getting stuck. That's why we see a huge amount of volcanic eruption. Even yesterday, you had a double earthquake in California on the volcanic eruption line on 2 volcanoes, which have not been active for 15,000 years.
Okay, well,
so
actually,
now this is
there's
moving.
often earthquakes in that area. We're talking about Mammoth and so on. Are there other parts of the planet where you're also seeing this same process going on?
Yes.
You can talk about those.
We see it in East Asia. We see it in Japan. We see this pressure will start creating earthquakes. It was a sign, because when the southern continent is pushing, South American continent is pushing towards Europe, it has to have some effects on the European side. The European side body is solid, European continent. African continent is solid. So the pressures will come on the country facing. I announced before that we'll see earthquake in southern Europe. And now we're getting reports from Gibraltar and Portugal and Spain, which they never had an earthquake. So it's not a prediction, it's understanding. And we had a student in our teaching, which she says they are getting continuous earthquake in southern Spain. Live, I told you we teach online. The students are live, they can converse with us and tell us what it is. So what I said is 100% correct. And I said before, when the southern hemisphere moves, when the American continent start moving, we will see earthquake in southern Europe, southern Western Europe, and we've seen it started in Portugal, in what you call Spain and France. And so now it shows we are correct. The continent is moving. And now the push comes. The earth is getting pressurized on the southern hemisphere due to the change of the season, the pressure, magnetic field of the sun on the earth. So it's putting pressure, this huge mass of southern American continent, putting pressure on the magma because it's getting pushed down, because now it's more or less getting free, and it's causing all these volcanic or lava to be pushed up. It's like a balloon. You push it one side, it has to come up the other ways. So we see suddenly huge surge of volcanic activities around the world.
Okay,
so everything links up to is scientific. It's not.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, but you kind of have. I read something. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought you made a prediction about California, and you said that it should be evacuated.
Yes,
is that
the reason
incorrect?
is correct. Yes, it's correct. We said Mexico City, because the way it's built, and California. When the southern hemisphere, on the southern hemisphere pressure moves and releases, the southern continent, American continent, is going to be freed. It becomes like Australia. It'll start in the next centuries moving into the center of the Atlantic. It's the way the rotation
so are you
of magma.
talking about something in the far distant future?
No, it's happened. It's already started. In next few months, it started hundreds of years ago. Now we are getting the final position of separation. So it happens to be our time. It happens to be when Australia separated from Pangaea, there were animals on it, they felt the same. It's not something which is just coincidental. It takes time, it happens. So in this time, when the Panama moves at the southern hemisphere, moves from the Panama Point, we've seen the Chile earthquakes. It shows the continent is moving. We're seeing a lot of earthquakes in Chile. It's coming up every day now, continuously. So it means the continent has started moving. This releases, it's like when you snap something, you get a shake in 2 parts. This is snapping, and with all the volcanic opening sign, and with the line of the interaction of the continental plates, in California, you're going to have a bang of it because of the separation of the southern continent. And I have predicted, I don't predict, I announce it because it's not a prediction. We expect anything between 12 to 20 force in earthquake in around California, the whole of west coast of United States, southern continent of South America, up to North Canada. And in that snapping, it's like when you snap, the southern part, when it shakes this opening, Mexico and Gulf of Mexico will go through the same thing. You get the second wave into
okay. You know, lots of people, Kesh, lots of people make predictions. Do you have a deadline for your prediction?
I'm giving you by next autumn. And
okay,
it'll be much sooner. It'll be much, much sooner.
Sometime before the fall, you feel this will happen?
I can give you even the days we expected. We see even days. They told me we are going to go against you. You're causing the earthquake, and you're this and that. I said, the man who doesn't understand the science of the earth can't say anything. Go and get yourself a virgin girl and do whatever they used to 1,000 years. See if you can stop it. These people who go and say you do this to start it, it means there are the people who
okay,
have to answer for their lives.
We are not saying that. We are not saying that here to you, Kesh. So
no, but I've seen people putting it. But what I say, when you see children die because of this, they don't go into the safe areas. Then these people have to live with themselves.
Okay, so you're not. Are you in touch with any, you know, scientists who study the Earth, or is this only your own idea?
No. Let me explain to you what happened. We announced in summer there's going to be such activity. We saw it within a week. We announced it, and then on the 2nd of February, I issued a new announcement about the new earthquake. And I was very precise. In the following teachings in the foundation, I explained the reason as I explained to you roughly to you now. On the 2nd of February, when I announced we expect a huge earthquake in America and in other places, it's on my teaching, open teaching on Tuesday, the second round, about 30 minutes. If you go on it, it says international teaching.
I did listen. Yes.
Okay. Immediately on that morning, your president has issued a presidential order, executive order, for system to be set up against earthquake for protection of people. It's in your country. The government knows how correct we are. And from issuing that executive order, which we are not aware of it, we got aware of it afterwards it's been issued, a lot of American scientists have started releasing their information. It's just not me anymore. Scientists from different universities are now releasing, predicting the same, or in different part of America. Because I said the earthquake, the vibration of this earthquake will be felt in Washington and New York. It's so huge, we'll start a cascading effect next to the next, because a whole continent is moving. And I said in my talk yesterday, in my teaching on Tuesday, we do not see the White House standing. Is that earthquake that strong in Washington, New York?
I see.
It's just a phenomenon.
When do you not see the White House standing? What month, what year?
It's just the earthquake. It's the earthquake effects, and then you have to understand these.
Yeah,
these
but when
movements.
are you talking? Because people
we're talking in a very, very soon coming time. When it gets near to it, I'll tell you the days I give you. At the moment, there is a red alert in matter of days or weeks for California. For California.
Okay.
In California, we see, and it's not mine.
What about, let me ask you this. What about Planet X? Are you a person who believes there is an incoming planetoid or any of this?
We see that. That's part of the structure why this thing pressure is increased.
Okay. Are you
the second planet? No, there is no Planet X. You have to understand the law of physics. I'm a physicist. I'm not a dreamer. In an atom, you have a proton and electron, which the motion of each other in respect to each other keeps them in order. You have an atom. Yeah. So every entity to be balanced in the universe and exist like our solar system for millions of years has a counterbalance. Same match, or smaller or bigger. Is our solar system the smaller sister or a bigger sister? We assume to be the smaller sister. When the bigger structure, bigger solar system is split, it's like a neutron. Neutron splits, becomes a proton and electron. Our solar system comes from a division of a bigger star. We have a
Okay, so
twin
you
sister.
believe
I don't
you
believe it's
someone?
a physics. It's a physics.
It's fine. However you want to word it. Are you talking about a brown dwarf? Are you talking about Nibiru? Do you have a name
It
for?
doesn't matter what name you put on it. We call it the second
No, it doesn't
sun.
matter. But do you have a
It's the
name?
second sun. It's the second sun. The
Okay,
second sun,
fair enough.
and you see
I have
a
many
proton.
whistleblowers that talk about the second sun, so this is not
Yes.
unusual. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what happened? You have an electron which rotates around the proton, and every now and then they come closer or further. Every time this second sun has come close to us, and this is a scientific data, you can go and check. We
Sure.
have seen, like when we get a push of meteorites from outer boundaries of our solar system due to its magnetic pressure, which pushes the, what do you call it, meteorites outside in. And when we say the dinosaurs disappeared, it was during the cycle when the two came close to each other. So huge number of meteorites were pushed down, and one of them hit the Earth. And it's normal. We see all this, and this pressure, where I tell you that this pressure of the bending of the southern continent, the American continent will come, if coincides with nearness of this, which increases pressure that more than the normal, it leads to the bending and breaking of the two continents, separation. So it's all connected to each other.
Okay,
So,
that was my question. That's fine.
yeah, but you have to understand another thing. And that's why I said if I could have shown it to you in drawing, we couldn't get another computer for you to see it. I could show it to you by drawing. Our system, our solar system, is on the boundary of a galaxy, and it's on the boundary of the one of the wings of the galaxies. And we used to be very far down. And the galaxies have a habit of pulling through the gravitational magnetic field, like when you have a drop of rain going up, drops down back onto the center. They have a habit of pulling their stars into the center. That's why they have their wings, that they have their arms. We used to be billions of years ago, millions of years ago, we used to be in the back end. There wasn't so much pressure to move into the arm. The arm is like a funnel. We are coming closer and closer to the middle, to the end of the tunnel, to join into the center of the galaxy. So now when this star joined us, or they rotated around each other, it was very far, the distance was much further. Now the magnetical gravitational field of the galaxy is bringing them too closer. And there is a possibility in this cycle of becoming close together, because we are due this next few tens of years, we come very close. And if the environmental pressure in the funnel of that wing, that arm of galaxy, puts pressure, the two will amalgamate, the two will collide, they come together. I wrote about this in my first paper. Let me explain. I wrote about this phenomena in my first paper called The Creation of Black Holes. When the two stars come in, and then they create a residual and become part of the energy released, and the black holes are not eating machine but the source of life, because all the energy of two goes into one. And that's why I published this one in 2004. This is not something new. This is understanding of the totality. So now we come closer, and the pressure gets that the two stars come close to each other. There's a very high possibility that this time they come together, they merge together. And this creates a mixture of all the plasmas inside.
Okay, wait 1 second here. Which two stars? Are you saying the Earth and the Sun?
And its twin sister. You look into a sky, just look into the sky, and you will see always two stars next to each other, near each other, with the same brightness. These are somebody is looking in the distance from our galaxy, will see us as two stars. They're coming together. This is what hypocrisy is, which people who don't understand. How come we see these stars, and we say we got a star, and we see them standing next to each other, but because our life is so short, we don't see them coming together or rotating. We just see them at that space. If we stand here 1,000 years and take pictures, you see they change. They move like an electron and the proton closer and nearer to each other, or further.
So you are a person who thinks that the Earth and the second sun are going to collide in some time?
We're gonna, it happens millions of times every day across the universe.
Well, if they collided, wouldn't this destroy Earth?
We are at that end. That's why we are teaching the space technology to be out of this zone.
I see.
The
When do you
faster.
think at the end, when do you
We
think the
estimate
end will
about
be?
20 to 30 years maximum.
Okay.
It takes
Are you
time. Everything
familiar
takes
with the
time.
work of, are you familiar with the work of Dr. Paul Laviolette,
No,
the super wave? Do you know anything? Have you heard about this
no,
super
no.
wave coming from the center of the galaxy?
No, it's not. No, it could be possible. The waves always goes. It's like a sun. A galaxy is like a sun. Radiates fields all the time. Otherwise, if we didn't radiate fields, we wouldn't have the daylight because those fields interact with our gravitational magnetic field and creates the light. So of course, it's correct. There is nothing wrong with it. It's a sense, makes sense
Okay, I
as a
just wondered if you
physicist.
were aware of
It
that.
is, of course. A galaxy is like a sun. It waves, sends radiation, and fields out to control, and its field string decides where the stars in the galaxy sit.
Okay, let me ask you this. If you believe that you're working in the area of space technology and you want to leave the planet, are you building spaceships?
Yes, on the structure of a universal way, not on the structure of NASA framework and banners. If you look at your own
Are you
body,
building UFOs? I mean, what
we are
kind?
not building UFOs. We are let me explain to you. Understand the science. We are not fairy tale people. We are highly, if you look around the Keshe Foundation, some of our people are highly educated people. They are physicists, scientists who understand what they are doing. And then, in so many ways, normal people, because they understand it, they do it better. Because it's part of our teaching. We go back into the teaching of we're doing teaching now 2 years, every week, every day on the internet. If you look, your body, yourself, your own body, is you touch it, you feel your skin, but your skin in reality is created. I teach this every day. I'm getting really fed up of teaching it, but people understand someday, see what it is. If you look at your skin has 3 layers. The interaction of these 3 layers, magnetic gravitational field, because even everything is made of a cells are made of atoms, so everything is magnetically done and how they interact. The interaction of the 3 magnetic fields, 3 layers of the skin, leads to manifestation of your skin. That's why it's flexible or hard, or become nail or whatever. We don't have a factory inside somebody making a system, oh, this is going to be a bone structure, carry it to the bone to put it. Gravitational magnetic field, in the way they are formed, they make the muscles of your heart. The gravitational everything, which go back into our teaching of Keshe Foundation Health. Dr. Elia Kostova went through this step by step, showed us what it is from the present science, and we put a parallel to it. If you take a muscle of the heart, it's 3 layers. You look at your intestine, is every section of it is 3 layers. The 3 layers interaction gives the facade of physicality. So we don't need a huge yard to build a spaceship. We understand this, and the problem is, if you make a spaceship with aluminium, when you go in the place, in the part of the environment, in the universe, where aluminium is like a gas, you lose your craft. That's it. You fall somewhere in the space.
Yes. Okay, so what are you going to build it out of?
We are building, it's getting done in there are units in United States, there are units in Canada, there are units other part of the world, where gradually I'm teaching people to come to it, where you see a dome. People, one of our people, I think his father came to his house, says, I see a huge, I thought your house is on fire. We did that originally in the Sensano. We showed it for the first time. How you make a dome, magnetic dome, without actually any structure, any bricks and mortar, as you call it. So now we are building, we are teaching how gradually in the next few weeks and months started. There is a unit in Canada, there's one in Switzerland, there's I think one in United States, where people start building these units. You just make a gravitational magnetic unit set of 4, and then you have to perfect your system that you see the appearance of the structure, which is exactly.
Okay, so are you talking about a plasma ship?
Yes, it is what it is. Your body is a plasma ship, but because it's
I appreciate that. So okay, so
in this system,
are you using a vortex? Are you creating a vortex?
No, we're creating gravitational magnetic fields.
It's a spiral. It's a
no.
You're not using any counter rotation, any of that.
We build the plasma. Actually, if you go on the internet, the first interactions, people can't see their hand. We see there's a videos where you see fingers get elongated. These are not magic, this is understanding. You see people, you cannot see their part of their
Okay,
hand.
so are you talking about using the orgone or the ether?
We are talking about using interaction of the plasmatic, gravitational, and magnetic field. One doesn't exist without the other, and as soon as the sooner the people understand this, then they understand the work of the universe, then they understand. Earth has a gravitational magnetic field, Sun has a gravitational magnetic field, the environment of our plasma of the solar system has a gravitational magnetic field, and the interaction of this gives us our atmosphere, this gives us our shielding.
Okay.
Now we are creating the same condition, but we're controlling the shielding, so we don't need to build a huge, factories to build the spaceships. You can build it, you can see it, you can touch it. People tell you who are doing it now, they can feel entering it, because gradually they are making it perfect that then now, very soon somebody will walk into the wall which wasn't there, because the systems are running. We teach this every Thursday, Tuesday on the internet. You can go, you can build it, join in, show your system to us, we show our system. But this is the way the science is going. This is the way you cannot change. In the olden days, they used to have, as if we said the earth was round. Huh?
Do you consider this to be a form of time travel?
It's not a time travel. It's you create your own earth, you create your own. The planet Earth is a spaceship flying in the space of the universe.
Yes, but the planet
so now
Earth.
We learn it to create a smaller one, where we control it. Earth gravitational magnetic field.
So, are you talking about the Merkaba? Are you talking about Merkaba?
Put any name you like. Call it a car which can fly. Call it the donkey with 4 legs which can take off the ground. Whatever you want to call it.
Specific things we need to use language to help us,
I don't. I call it a craft. We call it. That's why it's called the Spaceship Institute.
Okay, but in terms of the tangibility, it will be a lot like what we call a plasma ship. It will make use of what we call orgone or the ether. And you call it the magnetic field.
No, we use plasma. We know exactly what we are doing. And when you can change the strength, and it's a dynamic plasma, when you go to another dimensions of, let's say, Saturn, or you go to Jupiter, or you go in a part of the space of this universe where the magnetic fields are different, because it's dynamic, it'll change into it. You don't lose yourself if you have aluminum that you fly in the space. It's dynamic. It's like human body. You can jump in the water in a different environment, you're still intact. You come on the land, you're still intact. So now we're learning how the universe works, and we're replicating universe. How come? The biggest question I put to a lot of world leaders when I meet with people with the power, I said, how did you get here? He says, oh, we come by a plane. I said, how come you trust a plane but you don't trust the working of your own body? Because now we are making this, we understand more in the science of creation, that we are making a copy of our own body, but it's flexible. We don't produce bones and go and eat bone and then becomes the bone of our finger or toe. The body makes what it needs as well it needs it, the way it needs it. Now we learn that, we know, understand it, we are doing the same. We produce food when we need it, environments of the fields we need. So we have learned the process of creation, and that's why we organize it the way that we make a community from ourselves, that we become correct in conduct, we understand, we don't need to rob and steal. You can have as much coal as you like when you like, you can have as much food as you like. We start doing this now, people are doing it, not us. People are creating water, they drink it, they have energy, they build these domes, they feel don't need because they receive energy they need from the system. In a space, we don't carry food. As I said, the biggest problem in the universe now that we go into space, if we carry the food and we carry the, the air and the medicine with the system, it'll be your toilet. We can't carry all the toilet papers. Then we have to come back to Earth to find the toilet paper. So This is understanding how you accept and reject energy, the same as the pen. The pen is the first indication people to start learning how it works. The pen which you buy, it works, it's got specific structure of double coils. One is gravitational inside, the other one is magnetical. When it comes to the place when you have a pain, pain is energy. The body gives to the pen what it doesn't need and takes from the pen what it needs, and that's why the pen disappears rapidly. It's the most highly sophisticated technology of the universe in the hand of the man, and the man doesn't appreciate it because of his own ignorance. And those who understand, they understand fully. So we don't do magic that cancer goes. We understand how the cancer is created. We change the environment, and there is no cancer. We're going to report, this is getting videoed. I've done it for 15 years. They told me it's all hooky crooky. They cut my system in the nuclear center in Belgium, telling me I'm a crook. It's all magnets, because they never understood. Now I teach to the people. The crook are those who wanted to steal. So go on teaching of the Keshe Foundation every week. The Keshe Foundation will release the data from the cancer system, which is monitored by the university. Today, in the blueprint of the agriculture, I tell you something before I forget. Your biggest problem around the world is genetic controlled seed by Monsanto. You cry that they're controlling and they give us a seed which is genetically modified. Go to your kitchen, get the copper wire, what I showed you, make the GaNs, the CO2 wire, follow our teaching. Any material which Monsanto has controlled, leave it in that liquid for about 10 minutes, take it out and grow it. All the work of Monsanto will disappear. Because the same as the pain on your body, where you change gravitational magnetic field till it came to the balance, the gases, your material, the white material collected at the bottom of a box is coated on those wires, for example. So what happens, you change the pain in your body by taking and giving what was not natural. You do the same thing with the seed. What is added which is not natural, it goes back to the position. The mutation is not natural, it's forced on the seed. So you find out, you get the original seed.
Actually, let me say to people that's very good. Let me say that I interviewed Richard Bartlett and his partner Melissa Joy Johnson recently. They're talking about, they call their system matrix energetics. They're doing the same thing. So we're really talking about the same thing here. It's using different language, but it's accessing the 0 point.
But the thing is, you do it yourself. You don't need to have anybody to teach you. We are doing it freely.
Yes, I understand. Okay.
So now you can.
Good.
And now, even in the Keshe Foundation, you can go to the website in the next few weeks. You can buy. A lot of scientists have released papers that a lot of cancer is due to the acidity of the stomach, and the scientists who prove that if you make it alkaline, the cancer disappears. You can go in next few weeks, or do it yourself in the kitchen. Go and listen to the teaching of a couple of weeks ago on the international teaching. You put this material, you pass the same tube, you nano coat it the same with the caustic, and you pass the water through it very slowly, or you put it in the water, which is not actually naked to the water, that you can put it in the pen. You can use the same pen, put it in. You find out the acidity of the water becomes alkaline, pH 7, you like it the best, you'll have it, needs time, an hour, 2 hours or whatever. And then because you drink a total alkaline water, you find even your cancer will disappear, because your stomach is not receiving acid food but alkaline water. So we see changes, and the organization and the health people cannot touch us anymore, because it's us, millions of us doing it. They tried to kill me because they said that if you kill him, we don't go out. Now everybody is doing it. Do it yourself. You don't need me anymore.
All right. Now what I'm going to do, Keshe, we've kept you for a while. What I want to do is just let people ask a few questions before we let you go. Is that all right?
Yes, no problem. But I ask you one thing, please. Yes. If you are as part of people who wanted the change, are people who you think with you as one cannot the change come, but with you as a totality can come, attend the Dubai conference. This will change the course of humanity, because this time we leave the governments to be, we are not fighting anymore. But when I can supply my energy, when I can produce my own food, when I can produce my own food in a balanced way that there is no poison in it, I don't need the government. I don't need to depend on any government, but I share my wealth with the government, that my wealth allows the others to be comfortable. And I think 20% of my share is good enough, and I support it. So attend the conference, learn what it is, and become part of, maybe, depends on the set. We are not going to elect anyone. You will be amazed how the member of the World Council, what we call Universal Council, will be elected. It'll be so amazing that you will see you devote your life to serve humanity, but with a comfort, without putting and becoming what I call isolated somewhere to live. You live in your community, you serve your community, you live a perfect life as part of the world community too, but you bring balance to it. And it's got to be done by us, because we elected people who abused us through the position. Now we all have no position, we are all the same. So try to get to the Dubai. We have put a partner agent, travel agent, to make it as cheap as possible to be here. Nobody will be allowed which is not registered under no circumstances, because we do a security check and make the difference. It's you.
Okay.
If you wanted to, up to now, you said there is the government, there are Illuminatis, there are this, there are that. Now you have a chance with the organization which is built by you lot, is controlled by you, you develop it, and now you can change it. We teach the governments where the changes need to be, and we teach ourselves how to be real, true space people. This is the purpose of Keshe Foundation. So we want to take you to space, but you have to be part of the space that we can go into.
Okay, very good. So I'm going to, again, look at the chat and ask you for a few questions that I see there. Again, if you have a question, put it in all caps, and I will be able to see it now if you put it there now. So someone here wants to know, is it true HAARP can control weather?
I don't know. I don't make a comment on these things.
Okay.
Let's speak the Canadian government, who thinks he controls the HAARP. Mr. Harper is now, what is it?
Sorry?
You have Mr. Harper in Canada?
I don't know, actually.
Oh, the Canadians know. No problem. But I don't understand. I don't believe in these things, but I haven't seen it. They say it is. If it is possible, but you got to be a very strong system to be able to do it.
Okay. Someone is saying well, I think what they are asking is, will the craft that you build, the plasma ship or whatever you want to call it, will it be tangible?
Yes. Your skin is. And you build it. Why do you ask me? I'm not going to build it. It's built by the people all over the world. Get on the table and do it.
Okay, let's see.
And we are all aircraft manufacturers at the moment in the Keshe Foundation. We are all medicine men because we produce the pens. We are all agriculturists because we feed ourselves with the water. So we are everything because we teach. In a space, you need to know everything, and it's so simple because we understand the base of it. There are a lot of housewives who are doing it. Not just when you go and go to a doctor, and the doctor cannot alleviate the pain of your child, and you make a pen and you put it there and it's gone. Who do you believe, the doctor or the pen? Because you made it yourself with the emotion and the love you put in it to make it for your child and yourself. So who can tell you it's illegal to release your own pain? And you can do it. It costs less than 1 cent. It doesn't even cost a cent to do it. Go on my foundation, find out and do it.
Okay. Someone wants to know if a gravitational field could be likened to suction or vacuum.
Understand the truth. When you have a plasma has to receive that it can give. What it receives is called gravity through its gravitational field, and what it gives is through its magnetical. So what do you want to call it? Which one you want to be? You want to be at the end of the one end which gives out and you're the receiver, or you want to be at the end which receives and it gives. So it's part of the same.
Okay. Uh, Let me see if there's any other questions here, because actually I'm not seeing any. One moment. I just want to make sure I scroll down all the way. So just 1 second. We've got a lot of people listening, so I don't want to miss anything. I'm skimming. Okay, I don't see any other questions here. I see a lot of comments, but no clear questions.
What is the comment? As long as it's not from the trolls.
Right. Well, they seem to be commenting to each other more than actually. Some people are say, someone says it's a translation problem, that some people do not understand what you're saying because they don't understand the kind of language that is necessary.
Okay, the hundreds of other people put the same thing on the internet, on YouTube. You can go and learn the language you understand. It's in Spanish, it's in Chinese. It's just put Keshe Foundation China.
No, I think
Spanish.
We're not talking about the actually, we're not talking about the translation. We're talking about what people are asking about that when they talk about that. They mean when you use English words, not everyone understands what words are when you're trying to convey a concept using words. Exactly. And the words they don't understand.
Exactly. That's what I say. Go on the internet. People have explained it their own way that you understand.
Okay.
The hundreds, thousands of people have put their own explanation on the internet.
Sure. Yeah, and this is true when you're talking about this level of science that gets into basically the 0 point. I am using words such as plasma, Merkaba. There are many different ways of referring to this energy, that this what is all around us, what we are part of. So it kind of, some people call it 0 point, some call it
free energy, they call it whatever you like. As long as you understand it and you can use it to help and serve yourself and humanity, that's all it counts.
I mean,
that's what we call it.
Okay, so Keshe, I want to thank you very much for taking the time and being so patient with the troubles that we had in the beginning with getting you on the air. Is there anything else you want to say as parting words here? And also be sure to give out, website and addresses of where people can go to connect with you and go to the buy tickets for the Dubai Peace event. We have tried to show your website a bit here on the internet inside this window, but can you give them whatever closing remarks and information?
As we say, the title of the event in Dubai is One Planet, One Race, One Nation, because now we have found the essence of the creation and we all work together. Attend the event that we can change the course. Attend it because you believe each change is there, because now we have the tools of it without interference from outside. And on the other hand, we got to understand one thing. The change has come. We cannot ignore it. It depends how fast we want to see it to happen. The more of us to join to do it, now there are millions and millions, the more we can change the course of the humanity. First of all, we have to unite for these disasters which are coming on regular basis. Does not matter if it happens in California, it's happened in China. We saw it in Jakarta. 250,000 people lost in 1 second. So the new technology allows us to be able to reach it where the government can't reach, allows us on the reality of the Keshe Foundation Space Technology to open the space to introduce man to universal community. We don't need to be trapped and worried to what happens here, because now we have the space to travel in. The freedom comes from ourselves, and it's us who's putting this restriction on us. We respect every government, we respect every person, we respect every language, nation, color, and creed. Because we understand we come from the same essence. And if we can respect ourselves here, when we go into space, we can respect the others. And this is the whole purpose of the Keshe Foundation. Opening the space to man, but showing the tools of space for man to feel comfortable with itself, that when he goes to space, is comfortable with being equal to the others. So all we need to do, we started the change. People being there or not being there, the change will come and has come. Pens, pads, energy units, these are all the fallouts of the new space technology which we are developing. These are what we see we're using to develop our technology, and the byproducts is what you see. If you want to be in that level, use what is there and make it yourself. If you want to serve humanity, you can do it yourself. But don't get lost in promoting the technology that it belongs to humanity as yours, and you become the ruler of it. Then we go back to the same game as before. We see unity, we see singleness in the religion, in humanity, in race, and in one planet. So the nationhood for us is finished, because now we work right across. We work by the mother language. We have got away with the borders. The border is in our head, in our thought, and in our strength to be equal with each other. Please attend. This is the what we call the One Peace, one conference of it, that we started change. We are not a radical groups. We are scientists of the people who we made ourselves scientists, and we know we can change it. And time for the change has come.
Okay, Kesh, let me say that there are some questions that my computer was stuck at a certain point. It looks like there are some more questions. Would you mind if I asked you a few of them here that someone has showed me? Someone wants to know, can your plasma technology be used like a torsion field communication system?
What is the torsion field? I'm very ignorant.
I don't believe you really, you do know what a torsion field is, yes?
No, let them explain what they think torsion field is.
Okay.
We have managed to create the zero time communication, and is getting developed by the Keshe Foundation supporters around the world, because we understand how the plasma works, how plasma communicates, and people start using it to do the communication.
Okay, someone else wants to know whether you would be interested in teaming up with Stephen Greer. Do you know who he is?
Heard of him? Not really. I don't need to team up. Would the Keshe Foundation would like to team up? Would we bring assets to each other for development of the technologies? Always teaming up is part of the work of the foundation. If we done it with Sayers Group, John Sayer, his director sits on one of his directors sits within the structure of the Keshe Foundation. He's fully operative within us. We work with anyone. Now we are part of the Ghana Spaceship Institute's Atomic Energy Group in the government level. We are opening up in every avenue. We are not isolated, insulated people, because in Ghana we report today, researchers which is done by Ghana Institute today in the open blueprint with the agriculture, what Keshe Foundation is doing within the structure of the government institute. Let me explain to you something. Governments all know. But the problem with the Keshe Foundation is that the Belgian government put so much things, false information in the international arena, in the background about the Keshe Foundation, that they scared the governments. Now they're realizing that was all false information, that this has taken time. Now it's opening up like nothing, because governments see the effect. So
Okay, somebody has another question here. They're saying if aliens have tangible spaceships, why do they have tangible spaceships if they could use plasma? Or do you think that
the
you are?
no, their spaceship is made from plasma. That's why it's tangible. Your skin is tangible, but it's made of plasma. Interaction of the plasmas. That's what they understood, and they've achieved it, and that's why we're taking the man. It feels like it. Do you feel your bone is solid? You feel your skin solid? You feel your flesh solid from the interaction of the fields? That's how you create the new structures.
Okay, someone's asking, I don't know if you know about this, but Judy Wood, have you heard of her? They want to know if she was correct about free energy weapons being used in 9/11.
I don't make comment on these things.
Okay. Okay, the person that's asking about why he's in Italy, he was in Italy and now he's in Dubai, need to listen to the beginning of this conference. He talks extensively about that. So that question was answered there. What are the attributes to measure plasma flow and field strengths shape?
What it means by that? We are a Japanese Opera Cash Foundation has made a MAGRAPH system for measurement. On the 25th, we are looking at it with our innovation people. Cash Foundation Director, Cash Foundation Japan is on his way there to meet him. So we are introducing new tools to measure magnetic and gravitational at the same time to find what we call the weight. It's been tested on roller coaster, it's been tested on the lift. We can pinpoint accuracy, the height or whatever we are in respect to a position. He's developing if it's correct. He's a scientist who's built it, and he's donated to the foundation. So we are in the process. So we are introducing new tools and new measurements. 200 years ago, if you shown a voltmeter to anybody, nobody knew what it is. 200 years ago. Now everyone has one at home because now we produce electricity, we made tools for it to measure it. Plasma technology is a new science, the way we brought it, that made it in the hand of every common man on the street. Now we're bringing tools to measure it, that it can do it. Now we measure the strength of it, usually with the voltmeter. According to the teachings, they were showing it a couple of weeks ago from the Innovation Center. You can measure by the voltmeter. They were showing us how you decide if you have a cancer or not, if you're healthy or what your position is. Go into the Keshe Foundation teaching is there. Then you test yourself today, you know if you got a cancer or not. It's amazing how it works. And it's so simple.
Someone else is asking, what about chemtrails? Do you know anything about chemtrails?
I know a lot about chemtrails. I've given a lot of talk about what you call chemtrails. And a lot of people don't like me when I speak about chemtrails. Yes, I know. And I tell you how much I know, and I tell you how much is idiotic in speaking about it, but on the other hand, you want everything to eat it. I used to be, before I left my businesses to come to full final development of the space technology, because I was doing it part-time before. Part of my job was to be in the oil industry. I made a lot of money out of oil industry. And in refining and keeping up with the new technologies, which you lot would like to spend as little as possible to get to somewhere with the flight, manufacturers of the engines produce systems that the manufacturers produce of the oil have to meet for the engines to perform, for you lot to have a cheap flight. If the flight to Dubai is $3,000, none of you will come. But if you can get a ticket for $300, you all turn up. To get that $300, not the $3,000, it puts a lot of research, a lot of things to use, newly developed combination of fuels to get the maximum efficiency. And when these oils, or what you call used in flight, they leave behind residuals. We used to see the steam because it was just burning of it and cooling of it when the flight used to go. Now to get more and more efficient, even those, they have chemicals which looks in the exhaust of your car. Have you ever, you go and get a chemtrail and go and check the exhaust of your car. The combination of the exhaust from your car and the chemtrail is about 98% the same. This
Okay,
is how
so you're not aware of the
no, I'm aware, I'm fully aware as a man who's been in the oil industry and as a scientist. Your car creates.
We're not talking about chemtrails. We're talking about chemical spraying in order to things like aluminum, etc.
Can I ask you? Let me tell you, scientists have done a lot of work in these things. In 1970s, most of the nations used to use aluminium to create rain. It got banned by United Nations because they said it does this and that. There are things done. Let me tell you, if a guy is a leader of a nation and he puts a chemtrail on his own nation and he breathes it himself, he must be a foolish man. If a president of the United States orders a chemtrail to be used over a nation and there are Americans there and his own, because the earth moves and it'll end up on his own head, he must be a crazy man. They are not. These things comes from the people who don't even have a clue what they are, but they find existence by making accusations.
Are you not familiar with the work of the scientists involved with Clifford Carnicom?
No, but let me tell you something. I know one.
Well, he has a website.
Doesn't matter. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something very nice. You lot claim, and sorry but to be so precise, and I've done that in my teaching. You lot claim there is a chemtrails on the flights, on the planes. My friends, go and check your exhaust of your car. Go on a floor of a petrol station with your tank. Take a scrape of the land, soil, take it to the center to be tested. In the oil industry, the one which is flying, we take the plutonium, uranium out of it. In the exhaust of the cars, because it's not finely tuned, we leave it in. This is why nowadays when you buy a place, when it was an oil or petrol station, you have to dig so much and remove your soil. Because in the soil, you walk on a fuel station, you're carrying uranium, enriched uranium, part of it, on the foot of your shoe, and you take it home and your child sits on it. The truth sits somewhere else. You go and ask, just go to any fuel station where they tank, where you tank your fuel, take the part of the soil and get it analyzed, fully analyzed. You find how much uranium you're carrying in your oil. When the oil is produced, it sinks through the layers of the earth, it washes everything with itself. In the power stations, it's not worth it to target plutonium and uranium, which is washed into the system. We leave it in.
Okay.
And consume it.
Let me move on to
decide what is the reality. We know the reality from the manufacturing side, not as anything else.
Okay. Let me move on. Someone else wants to know about the Iran sanctions being lifted. How do you feel about that?
We started it, as you know. We announced it when we allowed and we put all our patents and knowledge on a USB stick and gave it to the world governments, and we left it for them to ask for it. The Chinese did, the Russians did, and on the day of election of Mr. Obama, His Excellency President Obama, on the 6th of November 2012, as you all know, the American embassy called and asked for a meeting to receive the key. And in that meeting, when I gave the key to them, I said to them, how come you take the knowledge from Iran? It's irrelevant, I'm a Iranian nuclear physicist. But talking to Iran is so difficult. Let's talk peace. And I put my hand physically across the table to the officials and said, let's talk peace. We want to start peace talk. And that started the peace talk. Mrs. Clinton, 14 days later, was in Ahvaz airport, which airport where the plane crashed. And then she was brought here to the Weyand floor to Washington, and we sent a letter of support. If anything with the Keshe Foundation technology, we can support. When they run into a problem in a secure communication, I informed the Americans, we are coming in with full transparency with open hand. Everything is open. They could not believe it. The communication restarted and we achieved the peace. We've been part of it, and now we put the hand of peace to the world leaders, not to one nation. And let me tell you something. You thought that was accidental. At the beginning of these talks, I explained to you on the 2nd of February, when we announced the earthquake and the president issued immediately a presidential executive order. It means the White House is with Keshe Foundation every day. We welcome you, President Obama.
Okay.
On the day of his election, on the day of his election is the most important day for a man when he gets elected as the most powerful man in the world. At 9 o'clock, we received the communication. 9 o'clock, New York time, we received the communication from the American Embassy. And I said, I don't believe it. I want it in writing. At 3:47, we already published it. We received the email, we want to meet. So the White House then, on that day, and on the second when we announced protection of your nation, has responded. We know, we trust people, listen when it concerns their nation. Let me tell you something, a lot of you are Americans. You know what happened, and Mike Harris was instrumental in this, what I'm going to tell you. Without him knowing, I got him into the position, and he went out with it. He served you very well. Mike, I have a lot of respect for Mike Harris. As you remember, go and check into when I gave the talk and check the press. There was a lot of opposition in Senate that they're going to block the Iranian peace talk. I made a very clear statement. I said to Mike Harris in another interview, you go, the peace talk of Iran will create between 5 to 20 million jobs in the United States alone. We see it now. Boeing has got a new contract. All the oil companies got a new contract. Everybody's got a new contract for it. It's creating jobs. At that time, Senate was opposing it. I said, you tell me, one member of Senate can tell me, upper house or lower house, that we don't accept the peace talk because we're going to create 5 million jobs in the United States in this time of recession. Which senator can do that? Immediately, within days, the head of the opposition committee of the Senate resigned and the thing collapsed. People have to see the truth. This peace talk has created a huge amount of wealth and jobs in the United States. And they don't let people see the truth. And it's brought a lot of friendship and warmth from both nations. Now, the first flight took place between the United States and Iran in the past few weeks. I'm proud to be part of it. But now we're taking it to the next level. The peace conference here in Dubai is the hand of peace from humanity to the world governments, that we work as one without the armies. And that's why you should be here.
Okay. One last question, and then I really will let you go, because it's probably been more than long enough to keep you on the line here. Someone is asking whether the ambassadors' units work and whether you can provide proof. I don't know what
ambassadors units work, because the unit which was given to the ambassador of Armenia, we monitor it. That's how we saw the 33% reduction. The unit is in Armenia. We've sent them 3 units. Is at 33%, 30% reduction. We have set it up and we test. Of course they do. Even the Chinese embassy units, they say when they go into the room, they feel happy. They call it the happy room when they're testing.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much, Kesh. Thank you again for your patience and for answering all the questions and being so eloquent. Thank you everyone for listening. And is there a place that people can go? Again, could you give your website where they can learn to use this technology?
Yes, it's called Keshe, Keshe, foundation.org. And there you can book the ticket to Dubai, and you can be part of the Keshe Foundation. Join the Keshe Foundation of your spoken language, that you can help the others. When the problem comes, even if you're American or if you're in any part of the Asia, even in Europe, when the time comes, the disaster comes. Disaster doesn't need to be in a physical way of earthquakes or whatever. When you run out of money, there is nothing to feed the children. When you're in pain and you don't find a solution in the medicine, make a cup of life the way everybody else has done, and just drink from it. It gives you all the nourishment and the energy which you need. It relieves your pain. And that's, if we can do that, we have served our purpose as a foundation. We are not looking for disasters. If you see somebody is hungry, can't feed this child, give him a cup of life. Build it at home. It costs less than $1. But you give a man a life to live a dignified life. And that's what our purpose is.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you indeed. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.